Welcome back. This is Arise News. You're watching the morning show with me, Chalabi. ABISOYE Ajayi is a social impact entrepreneur who facilitates opportunities for vulnerable young girls in Nigeria through her initiative, Girls Coding, which equips, mentors, and coaches girls from underserved communities in functional technology skills for the purpose of economic independence. ABISOYE, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Pearls Africa and your initiative, Girls Coding.
Pearls Africa is a non-profit that promotes the cause and advancement of vulnerable young girls in Nigeria, hopefully Africa eventually.
And so when you, in Nigeria, where do you work in Nigeria?
We work mainly in Lagos, and we have few programs outside of Lagos. So we have in Jos, we have in Ibadan, and Akure.
Okay, okay. And then Pearls Africa's, besides your, we'll talk more about the initiative. Pearls Africa's mission is to do what?
Basically giving capacity building, training, and anything progressive in nature that can actually help a vulnerable young girls to become a woman with means.
And why, I mean, how do you identify and what does vulnerable young girls mean to you?
Let's start with the fact that in Nigeria, you have folks, you have people who live under $1 a day. You have a young girl whose mom works as a cleaner, and the father drives a cab. You know that they're vulnerable. For instance, we have loads of people who are actually middle class, and they walk into our office claiming they belong in that category because they don't want to pay. Because we have certain people we have to charge to keep the program running for those who can't afford it. So most of the time, I Google some people and I find them online. For instance, you have a smartphone, you don't live under $1 a day. So you have people that their families come together to donate money, contribute money to feed on a daily basis. There's no way you charge people like that for a training that can actually give them a future they may not have ordinarily.
And what age group do your programs target?
10 to 17.
So you work with girls 10 to 17. You only work with girls?
Only girls.
Why was it important to work with girls? Why was this a focus area for you?
Mainly because of my personal journey. I found myself at a point in my life that I was working, I was schooling, and I was running a side business, everything at the same time. I mean, I didn't know any other life. Besides that, I got into the IT audit firm, EDP Audit and Secretary Associate, as an intern, without a future, without a plan, without knowing where I was going. There was no footprint or nothing to build on to say, this is where you need to get to, or these are your role models. So I think I was fortunate enough to get into that place because that was what actually gave me the bedrock of a lot of things I'm doing currently. And when I got there, I mean, when I say an intern, in Nigeria, an intern in certain places in Nigeria means you're cleaning, you're a tea girl, you're delivering letters to companies for trainings. So I did all that in a space of 2 years, and I gained admission into school. So when I get a full-time admission, I said I wasn't going anywhere because it was like seeing a beautiful future that I won't have outside of that particular audit firm. And I was like, I won't go and spend 4 years in school and forget everything I'm learning here. Because besides being an intern, I was learning a whole lot. And I became an associate consultant in a space of 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I was there for 7.5 years, and I was in school.
Oh, wow.
So because I was running a part-time program, it was longer than usual.
Sure.
But I just felt my future or whatever it is I'm going to do after all this program would be better than just going to a full-time school for 4 years and be like everybody else.
And what are some of the core skills that you gained in this internship / job that you're using today to mentor and train young girls?
Computer programming, core. When I got it, it was boring because you have a lot of people debugging lines of codes and trying to figure out why certain things are not working. People are just boring. And I never knew that being boring then would be something great in the future. So I joined the boring people and I became boring. And being boring, we're talking about everyone is quiet with headphones.
Okay.
And we're using these massive computers because we didn't even have anyone with laptops. So when you hear about laptops, it's like, wow, you're a rich person to actually be able to afford laptops. Today, the girls we train have new laptops. And I'm like, you guys don't know what you're actually enjoying. is a lot of privilege and be grateful for the donors. So there was a lot of computer programming skills, presentation skills. So we get topics to go develop and present in front of 40 people. So you are standing in front of people.
So there was a lot of rigor in, that work environment for you.
There was a lot, yes. And there was actually a point in time, the overall boss said, "So I need you to get something done. You have MCSD, you have Oracle database certifications, and clients keep coming into this company to fill forms on paper. Can you develop an application?" And I was like, "Sir, who has done it before in this company?" And he said, "Nobody, but you're doing it." It took me 1 year to get it done. I did my research, I joined forums online, I went to different ICT centers in Lagos looking for solutions because I was coding every day. So I was able to see how my Microsoft certification was able to give me the interface, the specification of an interface, like a user design interface, and how you can actually input data, and the data you input goes into a data structure behind it. And that was what I used the Oracle for. So I felt, okay, I gained 2 certifications that I probably did in a space of 4 years, learning, using massive books, books this big, and you have to finish in 2 weeks because somebody else is waiting. So the kind of luxury people have today where you just go online, you have computer for dummies, you have coding for dummies, there was nothing like that.
Fantastic.
So you have to keep reading. And most of the time we're like, are these things actually archaic? Because it's like some certain things are not working, but you must make it work. And you just find people in a big space, you just find someone screaming at the back. And that's because they've been working on something for months and it just clicked.
Oh, wow.
So they just,
so there was
like
also a celebratory environment.
It was a big deal. Like people just scream and like, what's going on? Oh, I get it. Something just worked out.
So while you were in this environment and you decided that, okay, I am going to make sure that other girls have this opportunity that I've had, was it because you didn't see a lot of women in this environment, or was it that you saw a lot of women and that motivated you to even make sure that there are more women?
No. In the space, besides the fact that I was one of the youngest, the young girls were few. Then we were always having conferences and trainings. I took some trainings personally that had to stand on heels from morning till evening. I mean, I got a lot of compliments from the men. So there were 2 ladies and 30-something guys. Then when we go for conferences, even in 5-star hotels when we organize, I'm part of the organizer, so I was in like 3-4 departments at the same time. We realized that one woman is joining and there are 40-something guys. To be honest, all that still didn't come together for me to even start something for girls alone. Till, I think 4th year, because my course was 5 years in school, so my 4th year. And you know when you're in school and you're really trying to have this low-key profile, even though you know you're an extrovert and you don't want to be known, because to be honest, you don't have anyone to go and report to when they're stressing you in school. So that was really my life. But I was really angry because we are using computers to solve real-life problems, because it's an audit firm we're using a tool called ACL. It's a fraud detection tool. So you help companies discover ghost workers, duplicate records, recover stolen money, and stuff like that. And I'm in a school where people are using computers to watch movies. I was angry. I mean, and some were playing games. I was angry. I was like, if you're developing these games, I will understand. If you are editing movies, I will understand. But when you are using the same powerful tool to watch movies, there's something wrong. So I did a survey. I passed questionnaires around, make people feel it. People were like, oh, are you doing projects for someone? I said, no, it's not a project. It's a personal thing. I didn't even know where it was going until I retrieved everything back, about 200 copies, and I read through everything, and I saw comments. Just asking people questions. What do you do with laptops? What do you do with computers? What can you do? What are the skills you have? And I realized that people didn't know anything. Some said, we need like an orientation program, we need to learn, we keep hearing about it. And I was like, okay, maybe we should have a conference. And that was what even started everything.
So that's where Pearls, that was the beginning of Pearls of Africa?
No.
Ah, okay.
So before we had a conference, again, I was scared. You know, when you don't have anyone holding your hand saying, this is how you should do it, this is how it's done. It was scary. I was scared. I was like, okay, fine, I need to get sponsors, I don't have money, what will I do? Long story short, I registered a company. The folks in charge took my money away, about 70,000 naira at that point, because I needed to approach companies to give me stuff, to be able to give the people that were going to be attending.
You needed to have a company.
I needed to have something registered. I mean, I'm coming from a legal place that everything is done right. So I just felt you can't approach companies and just say, my name is Abisoye, so give me money. It won't work. So we did all that. I think it was the third attempt that I was not able to register a consulting firm.
Wow.
And I partnered with the school, SUG, so that I can even get the auditorium for almost free. So there was a lot of partnership, things I have to bring in. I was like, I'm making it free because I don't even know the end game of this. Let's even see. We had over 2,000 people in attendance.
Oh, wow. And so that event was really about just telling people the power of computer.
Exactly.
The power of technology.
Yes.
And so today you're doing girl coding is one of your biggest initiatives. Tell people at home what this is and the people and how you're impacting young girls.
The future is tech. But before that, can I just complete the conference part?
You don't have that much time, so go ahead.
I'm going to rush it.
Go ahead.
I'm going to rush it. So we had over 2,000 people. I was super excited. People said it was a successful event. We didn't make money because we didn't charge anything. But when we got it back, we realized that the guys were more, and there were no girls in a university. And so that was what now, buttressed what has been going on in my mind, that girls need to be in this space. But I wasn't ready to make it a business per se. We didn't get money the following year.
But let me ask you, why do you feel that more girls didn't come out? Why wasn't it even? Why wasn't it 50-50?
It's a cultural thing. I think many of us were brought up to think the STEM space, science, technology, engineering, maths, is for guys. So most of the time, it's that we're given dolls to play with, and we're given sewing kits to learn to sew clothes. And guys were given trucks to learn to destroy and remake. So they believe that I must be building something, and we feel that we must be in the kitchen. So it's a cultural problem, I can put it that way. So yes, girls coding gives vulnerable young girls ICT skills, making them creators of technology and not users. So we can't keep going on Facebook and say that because we make Facebook rich by using it.
Well, not so much this week. Not so much this week, but hey, yes, most of the time.
So why can't we build things ourselves? And that is the essence of girls coding. So right now you have young girls in the space, in groups, in teams, building projects, solving societal problems. I can
so tell me some of the projects. Please.
Okay. There's a group of 5 right now, and the leader is a girl from the slum. And they're building a fishing community online, because there's a lot of middlemen in the space. So the only middleman we want to have is somebody who can speak our language. You can speak Yoruba, and you can speak Egun, which is the community's language. And that is what she's doing, so that more money can come to these people, and they can actually take care of their family better.
So, sorry, now I have to extend this, because now you're making me really curious. So just give me a sense of how this would work. So they're building this community. I'm a fisherman. What do I do? How do I even get it?
So it's like an aggregation of fishermen.
Okay.
You bring them
together.
Fisherman
community.
Yes, it's a fishing community, and fishing is actually a major occupation in that place.
Okay.
As of 3 years ago, Makoko is was a population of 300,000 people. Trust me, they grow every day. You have a family of 25, 1 man, maybe 3 women, and many children. So, and that grows often. It keeps growing. It's not stopping. So that is just our own project. Even though we've gotten to the point that...
And they're coding, they're coding and everything.
You should come and see them.
I want to come.
You should.
Please.
And the project will be live next week.
Oh, wow.
That will be functional.
Okay. And so where can I come and visit you?
Yaba.
Okay.
Yaba.
So tell us about like 2 other projects, because this is exciting.
I'll say 2 more. There is a beggars project. So many of these projects, we just bring the girls together. We don't give them the projects. We make them think problems. But they have the tools. Can we now think and tech solutions to these problems? And then they start solving. So the beggars project is just, hello, affluent people and middle class. Can you declutter your house and let other people have the things you've not used in 6 months and 1 year? You have cooking things, maybe you're tired of this, somebody else needs it. So that is what, so it's like you're just crowdfunding or bringing in stuff for people. So you can just give a call, I want to drop off, or you can pick up. Is what the entire, and the young girl is 13 years old.
And that database is sort of, they're building a database to...
Yes, a website with a mobile application whereby you can just call to pick up your things that you don't need anymore for other people to use.
Okay.
So, and there's the FGM, female genital mutilation, another young girl, 14 years old, Nasirat is also working on that, creating awareness. Where she's trying to get to is whereby people who are suffering in this, people who are victims of FGM can actually call authorities when it's about to happen. So she's extremely passionate about it. She figured it out herself, and she can tell you everything.
So she's trying to develop a self-reporting community.
Exactly.
So that people in the community can report
yes,
if this is happening.
especially the young girls.
Yes.
Who are
so the
affected.
girls will be empowered to make the to do the reporting.
Yes.
Oh wow. And so how many girls are in the program?
Right now, I mean, for this summer period, we're having 50 in Yaba, 30 in Jos, another 20 somewhere else. I think Victoria Island, yes.
Okay. And then overall, how many girls have you guys trained
so
to
far,
date?
408.
Through Girl Coding.
Yes.
And these girls, what happens to them after they sort of finish this program?
We used to give some internship opportunities before, but we realized that there's a lot of mindset that needed to shift because there's a lot of character building that also needs to happen.
So that's where the mentorship comes in.
That's why the internship stopped and the mentorship is core now. That regardless of who you are, where you're trying to get to in life, your character is key. You can't say you are the best programmer in the world and you can't work in an environment because you have to probably insult people or you don't know how to talk to people or you don't know how to respect people. So that's where the mentorship angle comes in. Many of them go to school. Again, we deal with people who don't see education as key. So we are only using technology to bring them in and also tell them about the value of education.
So how are you getting family support and cooperation here?
I know
especially because if you're I mean, when you said Makoko community, I know that there's a lot of communication that happens before they allow the girl, like they will allow girls to come to your program. How do you facilitate that?
When we started, you know, we've grown a bit. When we started, it was really a lot of war. They didn't want us to even step into the community at all. So, and what I can say is that there are 3 levels of engagement that must happen. There is the elders, which is the people who seem to own the community. There is the parents, and there is the girls. You can get the girls, if you don't have the parents, there's problem. If you have the parents, you don't have the elders, there's problem. So everything must be in line. You must be able to communicate with everyone, telling them the value of what you're doing. Over time, they were able to accept us, and now they're even telling us to come and take more people. And yet, I mean, before we got into Makoko, we went through 5 people. Someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows the last person, just for us to get access into the place.
Wow. Wow.
So we deal with a lot of communities majorly. Eventually, we get girls who says, my friend, and they all attend public schools anyway, so my friend goes to this place, I want to come around. I say, go and bring your mom.
And your programs are all after-school programs?
After-school programs, holidays, Saturdays.
Fantastic. And how do you get funding to support your work?
When we started, there was nothing, so it was just me and my friends and volunteers. And they were kind enough to just join in without being paid when we started. And over time, we started applying for grants. So U.S. Consulate has come through a couple of times. Union Bank is very key. I mean, they were there with us last year. They are here with us this year, and I'm sure future.
Wow. And how can people at home get involved, help you, contribute, or what would you like people at home to know about the program?
Wherever you are, if you find a young girl who is vulnerable, please, can you just let us get in touch with the girl. And for volunteers, please, you're welcome. We need a lot of volunteers, and not just in computer programming, in health, career-wise, we just need professional ladies to come around and help us.
Give us like three signs of vulnerable girls so that people can identify.
Girls on the street are vulnerable. Some of the girls who attend public schools are vulnerable. Orphans are vulnerable. The girls who don't have mothers are vulnerable. I mean, I won't say more.
No, you said that's enough. People at home get it.
We also work with IDP girls.
Okay.
And I can also say they are vulnerable. They're just victims of circumstance. They didn't choose to be where they are. Things happen that some of us don't have control over, and they don't have control over it. So I classify them in that category. So we also give them the training for free.
Wow. ABISOYE, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for the work you do in the community, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And I would love to come and visit.
Please do.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's time now for a break on the morning show, but when we return, I'll be speaking with Webe Bor about the history of Nigerian football and much more. Do stay tuned.